Well, let's get things back over to Chief Meteorologist Matt Farrell. Chilly today, but we could have even colder temperatures in our forecast soon, Matt.
Yeah, coming up pretty quick. We're going to have a decent week, but then as we head into next week, we're kind of doing this thing where we have a cold week, a good week, and then another cold week. Unfortunately, it's not a great pattern to be in, but that's where we are. 53 out there today, started off at 31, so very close to the averages, and thankfully this was nowhere to be found. 4 degrees on this date back in 1912, nowhere near the record low. And I tell you this, the record for tonight and tomorrow morning, also single digits. We won't get there, but we'll talk about that in just a second. Right now, most of us are starting to get close to that freezing mark along I-35, and you can see 35 in Waco, 38 in Hillsboro, 34 in Marlin and Temple right now. Still holding under the 40s though over in the I-45 corridor and in the Brazos Valley. By the time we get to tomorrow morning, like I said, we'll go down about 4 or 5 more degrees. I told you another single-digit record set back in 1982 made it all the way down to 6, but we should stop falling somewhere in the upper 20s to lower 30s across central Texas by tomorrow morning. For tomorrow afternoon, I said this before the break, we'll have a decent warm up. We're back into the mid and upper 50s across central Texas, so a little bit warmer than it was today, and that warming trend does continue. That's the good news. The good news is we'll be back up into the 60s, close to 70 degrees by the end of the week, and even better than that, a couple of rain chances even to talk about there. 20% both Wednesday and Friday. They're not great chances, but anytime we get to talk about rain chances here, that's always good news because we are in the middle of a drought. So let's get those rain chances in as we go through the early parts of the year, of course. Again, upper 50s, lower 60s, middle 60s there by the time we get to Friday, and that's when things change. We'll talk about that in a second. First, let's talk about those rain chances. I said they're not great. And they're not. We're watching a little low pressure system just off the coast of Texas there by the time we get to Wednesday. And you can see those storms start sneaking up into central Texas. Might give us a shower or two here in central Texas to the north of Austin there, south of Waco. So we're going to watch that, but it's not great. We do have another chance, though. That moves out and another cold front's going to come in by Friday. And as it does so, could bring more rain chances across Texas. And we'll be watching for about a 20% chance of showers there as well. So 2 days here where we could see some wet weather, but unfortunately the chances just not all that great. And you know, whenever I pull out the upper air map, things are about to change for us because we're watching those long-term patterns. So let's see what happens here. As we head towards Friday and Saturday, we're going to start to watch another Arctic air mass spill into the lower 48. And as it does so, could have some impacts on us here in the south. Again, that's that dive of cold air. It's going to move in Sunday and it's going to last through next week. Watch this. Put this back in motion. We get into Monday. Could be even colder by Monday. I'm going to tell you this right now, though. It is still far too early for us to start talking specifics like things like wintry weather and things of that nature. But just plan on it being much colder next week than what we're going to experience this week. And the bad news for all of us, of course, is that it does continue late into next week as well. So we're talking about cold weather all throughout next week. In fact, a very high chance of seeing below average temperatures, which, if you were wondering, for this time of the year is about 59. So we'll stay below average, it looks like, based on the data as we head through much of next week. As for your 7-day forecast, again, pretty decent the next several days. There's those rain chances Wednesday, Friday. Friday, we're back up close to 70 degrees, but that's when the bottom starts to drop out just a little bit here. We're going to have that first cold front. It's going to bring us down to the 60s by Saturday, into the 40s by Sunday and Monday, with those overnight lows back to freezing by the beginning of the week. Remember to get your forecast on your time. You can download our free 6 Plus app. It's on Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku.